It seems that Pilates versus strength training war never comes to an end. There's this common misconception. Some people say that Pilates is better. Some people say that the gym is better. Some people say that both together is the key. Now, all of this is going to be based on your fitness goals and how your body reacts to things. So the question I'm going to ask, is Pilates alone enough to achieve your fitness goals? Since Pilates has been a very trendy exercise recently, that's why I titled this video Pilates, because I'm gonna kind of explain to you what is it, as well as the same thing as strength training. What is it offering you? What is it giving you? Now, before you form your opinion on which is better, first ask yourself about your fitness goals. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to build muscle and lose fat? Do you want to gain weight? Do you want to look significantly smaller and just slightly toned? Do you want to be extra lean but a muscle mommy? First, we're going to start off by what can Pilates achieve? Of course, in addition to a clean diet. First of all, it builds core strength like no other. The gym is not going to give you the core strength that Pilates does, because this is one of the principles of Pilates. It improves posture, flexibility, very good for balance. It's low impact, which can make it very, very good for injury prevention and recovery. When it comes to the aesthetics, it can kind of create the illusion of lean looking toned muscles. Now, this is something that you can slightly do at the gym as well, but we'll come into later to explain that part. Since it helps with posture and alignment in your body, so making sure these two shoulders are in line, even your face being a little bit more in line, your arms being the same distance from each other, things like that, it can give an appearance of you looking more slender or taller or more symmetrical. It's known to reduce bloating, and like I said, it improves your whole body's alignment, mainly because it's working so much on stability and those muscles or joints that help you with stability. Now, who is Pilates great for? Beginners, people who need some kind of physical therapy, obviously people who are a little bit more afraid of the gym. This one might surprise you, but also for people who want to regulate their appetite, want to de-stress a little bit, or they don't want to do anything too intense for themselves. Now, what can strength training on its own achieve? Of course, with a clean diet as well. The key benefits here, we all know, is build muscle mass, substantial muscle mass. It enhances metabolism a little more because you're burning more calories at rest. It's not a huge amount, I will say, but because you're breaking down muscles a lot more at the gym because you're lifting more to recover, you burn more calories. It's really beneficial if you want to get really good at strength to pick up things. So if you have a job that's kind of like that, that can be very beneficial for you. Now, when it comes to aesthetics, it creates visible and very noticeable muscle definition and curves. So this is where you begin to see those curves more, a little more curve in the bicep or the delts or in the glutes or the quads. Now, who is strength training good for? Someone who wants to reshape their body. Someone who wants to grow an area to make another part look smaller. Or someone who just wants to grow more in general. Someone who wants strength to be able to pick up things. Someone who cares more about their performance in things, let's say. So someone who's able to pick up heavy things or do competitions or things like that is where this would come in handy. Of course, bone density as well, very good for preventing osteoporosis, but as long as you have sufficient muscle, you work out and you have a good diet, you don't need to be jacked either to prevent osteoporosis. Now, when would Pilates not be enough for your goal? Now, this is where I'm gonna go on a mini sidetrack, because for the people who do prefer strength training, their goals are more to build a substantial amount of muscle, versus in Pilates, most cases, there isn't enough substantial muscle growth. Now, for some people who don't want to grow a large amount of mass, this would be great for you. If you are someone wanting to build and significantly see it with your own eyes, more muscle, strength training would be better. Unless you have a professional instructing you in Pilates and having you go on other apparatus rather than just the mat or the reformer, such as going on chair Pilates or the Cadillac where there's higher spring loads, progressive overload has a limit in Pilates. As for fat loss goals, the workout itself burns less calories than any high intensity exercise, such as super heavy lifting that raises your heart rate, or doing HIIT exercises such as running or burpees. The one thing I do want to say though, that if your goal is fat loss, you shouldn't really worry about how many calories you're burning in your workout because it's only 20% of your results. So I wouldn't focus too much at how many calories the exercise burns because there can be negative side effects to that. Lastly though, since hot Pilates is a trend right now, I would say that doing Pilates in a hot mat room is equivalent in burning calories wise, same way as the gym, but you possibly might still not burn as many calories than you would at the gym just because your muscles need to repair a lot more when you're at the gym. So at rest, you are burning more calories if you strength train very heavily. But like I said, don't worry too much if your goal is weight loss or fat loss about how many calories you're burning during a workout because it's not that many to begin with. If you significantly raise how much high intensity exercise you're doing, it's gonna make your appetite a lot bigger too, so it might make it very hard for you to stay in a deficit here, okay? Now, when would strength training not be enough for your goals? For mobility and flexibility, it is nowhere near emphasized here to improve range of motion or alignment. You would definitely have to do some outside practice out of this, such as using a pole and doing some exercises for mobility, doing some stretches, some warm-ups, but obviously strength training is for strength or muscle building, so there is nothing in there to make you more flexible or more mobile. Now, it can engage the core, but it might be a lot harder to do this in strength training because it's not emphasized. There's no trainer there to tell you how to engage the core unless you can pay hundreds of dollars for that, which you're kind of doing in Pilates anyways, right? For recovery, it's not the best unless you do some really good stretching. Once again, since you're not really doing any mobility or stretching in strength training, which you definitely can do afterwards, but you need to know what you're doing, it can definitely leave you a little bit too sore, a little bit not as mobile, and it can just lead you to be tired and burned out from that. And like I said, because you're so sore, you're being cautious about the way you move, that can become a habit for you and make you just not as mobile in the future. Other than in Pilates, you know, it's usually a class, so there's always gonna be warm-ups in between, at the beginning, stretches at the end. There is always things in the middle all mixed in throughout it to help you with that. Now, for the fun part, how does Pilates and strength training work together? For aesthetic goals, Pilates builds up muscle to a certain point. Like I said, there's a limit usually with how much growth there is in Pilates, but that doesn't mean strength wise, right? You can still get even stronger and stronger and stronger with progressions, but as in how much mass is built there, usually there is an ending point to it. Now, when it comes to aesthetic goals of both of them together, it does improve posture and enhances alignment, right? So you get that good part of Pilates for the posture part, for the alignment part of things, right? Because strength training sometimes, which is a very common issue, is that you may get muscle imbalances and you're like, oh my gosh, I can feel it more on this side than this side. I don't feel like this side is being engaged, but this one is. So Pilates is very good at helping you mind to muscle balance the two, which can help really good in posture, really good in alignment. And if you didn't know already, posture or bad posture can lead to some back issues, some spinal issues in the future. So definitely that is more important than just the aesthetics of nice posture. The other good thing is that Pilates engages in small little muscles or stabilizing muscles that can give little details to your body that look a little different than someone who only did strength training and only worked mainly on the big muscles, but isn't very focused on the small ones that can actually prevent injury, which is another thing. Pilates is very good at making your brain more mindful of the exercises you're doing, the breathing you're doing, the form you're doing, so it can definitely help prevent injury when you're doing strength training. Now, when it comes to strength training in this part, what it's beneficial for that is different from Pilates is that it builds a lot more muscle and can add those curves. So any part that you feel like doesn't have enough muscle and you want more muscle there, more mass there, Pilates is not giving you that. You can do more strength training in that area to change the shape of that area. Isn't that cool? Since you're gonna be super sore in strength training for all of that, it is very good to do Pilates because it's gonna stretch you out, it's gonna make you more mobile, it's gonna help you with form once again, and it's just gonna make you more efficient all throughout the day or when you're doing strength training. Now we're gonna go over what is best for fat loss and how both of them together can be really good too, but you can see the benefits of each and see which ones you care more about. Now, when it comes to Pilates, it reduces stress and it can help regulate your appetite. So That is something I talked about earlier. Don't care too much about how much you're burning in a workout because it's more about your diet, right? So do not overwork your body. And I always preach that because it can feel miserable to be on a calorie deficit if you are exercising very hard. So if you do something that still exercises you and strengthens you and is good for you and can actually keep your appetite regular, you can lose fat a lot easier because diet is 80% of your result. It's kind of one of those things where if you're in college and you know that a test is only 20% of your grade, but then there's so many quizzes and those quizzes add up to 80% of your grade, you're gonna do a little bit better in those quizzes than on that test. Now for fat loss part, when it comes to strength training and how that benefits you, building muscle, like I said, increases your metabolic rate, which means you're basically burning a few more calories throughout the day when you're not exercising because your body needs to recover those muscles and it takes energy to recover those muscles that you hit so hard at the gym. Also, when you're strength training, you'll notice like your heart rate does get high after each set you do if you're going very heavy. Now together, strength training drives calorie burn, while Pilates aids in the more recovery part, the form, the injury prevention, the little details of you, and it has a limit to how much muscle is being grown on your body. It's also very good to regulate your appetite, and it is very hard to be burnt out from Pilates. Like you'd have to be doing an immense amount of it to be burnt out versus with heavy lifting, you do have to be a little bit more cautious about it if you know that you naturally do get burned out easily from exercising. All of that being said, I'm gonna go over the common goals you have and what I believe would be best for you. So this is gonna kind of form your little workout split in a sense based on your goals. Now, this is not gonna be on your personal preference of what you like more. Oh, I just hate strength training. Because at the end of the day, if this is what's gonna get you to your goal, there's no way around it, okay? So when it comes to weight loss. Weight loss means you just want to lose weight. You don't even care about how much muscle you gain. You just want to be smaller, period, even if it means you're not even that toned. If you want that, you could do just Pilates and calorie deficit. And when I say calorie deficit, you don't need to count your calories, but you just have to eat less than what you do right now. Don't even care about what you're eating, just eat less. Do I recommend that? No, I don't, because not that it's like obviously not my aesthetic goals, like I want to look toned, but it's just not healthy to just lose weight. You know what I'm saying? Like you also need like nutrients and you need exercise in your body to stay healthy. So just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're healthy. Just because you're chubbier doesn't mean you're healthy either. If you literally just want to lose weight, don't even care about anything else, don't care about your health, you just want to look smaller, you could literally just do like light Pilates, no weights whatsoever, like 3 times a week. If you want to like speed up the process, you can walk every day 10K steps and then just calorie deficit. Like honestly, the only thing you need to lose weight is a calorie deficit, so you could literally just be doing that and that's it. Now, if you want to lose fat but look toned, I would do calorie deficit, high protein, Pilates 3 times a week, strength training 2 times a week. Where you do the strength training is totally up to you. I'm going to do another video in the future, basically just talking about how to build your routine, but I'm kind of giving you a breakdown of everything, right? So the next one is if you want to be a muscle mommy, do only strength training 5 times a week, eat high protein, and good luck on your appetite because it's probably gonna be high, so you're gonna be eating more regardless probably, and just progressively overload heavy lifting 5 times a week. Now, if you want more of what my body is like, I do Pilates 3 to 4 times a week and I do strength training once a week. Now this is gonna be different per person. So if you do want for yourself, for your body, your goals, I do highly recommend that you join a consultation with me and I can direct you towards the right path through there. All the money that is paid for the consultation is moved towards your fitness journey / advice meeting with me, and we can talk one-on-one more there. But with that being said, there is no right or wrong with strength or Pilates. They both are so beneficial for each other, not just for aesthetics, but for your health. With that being said though, if you hate strength training and you are also lucky enough to just want your goals to be small but toned, having a clean diet and doing harsh Pilates 5 times a week works great. But you see how many things you can do. That's why information overload right now, and I can't give you the right answer on what is better. You have to come up with what I just said so far and form your own opinion. Personally though, the best thing would be to incorporate both, because you're not strong just doing strength training and you're not strong just doing Pilates. You have to do both together so that in the future you actually genuinely are strong to keep moving and get up from seats, okay? I hope that makes sense. Size does not equal health. Find what works best for your aesthetic goals, your health, and your happiness. Link in bio if you want to join any consultations, join my workout programs, whatever. I'm always here for you. If you have any questions, drop them below. I'll make a video for it, and I'll see you later. Bye.